The reason that your journey has taken longer, the reason that it is more challenging is because you signed up in this lifetime to develop into spiritual mastery, emotional mastery, mastery of your mind. So if you think that this period of your life is just a waiting period, is just this insignificant moment in your journey, think again, because it is likely the moment in your journey that you're going to look back on and realize, wow, I was so strong. I was going through so much more than I even let myself realize. That fatigue, that exhaustion that you're experiencing, it's because you are moving and transmuting energy like a master right now. You're doing so well. And this video came across your path as just a little gentle nudge from the universe of like, yes, you are doing it. Don't diminish this work that you are doing right now. Hi, friends. I have come out of my cocoon momentarily to deliver a message because I know I've been really going through it lately, and it's likely that if you're here on my channel, watching my videos, if you're drawn to this even for the first time, we might be soul family, we might be souls going through a very similar life path and a very similar phase of initiation as we activate our divine gifts within us, as we remember why we're here and align with that purpose more fully. We are likely going through something very similar right now if you were drawn here. So always take what resonates and leave the rest. Know that these are messages that have come through for me personally that I always just feel called to share, because I know that sometimes this journey can be confusing and you can feel so alone, and it's easy to backtrack and want to give up when we have no clue what's actually going on. And so I just want you to know right now that you are exactly where you're supposed to be in this moment. You don't need to be so frustrated with yourself. You don't need to judge yourself or shame yourself for being where you are in this moment. Where you are right now is another phase of your initiation into your soul purpose, into your higher life path, into alignment with what you truly came to earth to accomplish. And this has come in multiple phases, especially over the past few years. And I would say in the past 6 months, these phases have been closer and closer together. So you might have had short reprieves where you would feel really energized and creative and aligned, and then longer periods where you feel really tired, really unsure, really confused within yourself, not sure what action to take, not sure why you're even here on earth, maybe having an existential crisis, like these periods where we question everything and where we maybe fall back into old habits and we don't feel like our best selves. This has been happening for me on and off throughout, especially the past 6 months. It has gotten really, really intense. And I know that in these periods, when I'm in that low, when I'm in that darkness, it's really hard for me to connect to my guidance and that inner knowing within me as to why I'm here. But recently I have found this strength within me to be able to connect to that even when I'm in these heavier places. And that voice that has been coming through, that guidance that has been coming through, has been telling me how significant this period in our lives is, how significant this work that we're doing right now is. For so long, you might have been going through this unconsciously. And now we're realizing that every single time we go into one of these periods where we feel stagnant, where we feel like our life is a mess, where we're not taking action towards the things that we want to do, we realize that when we actually allow ourselves to feel into the emotions that come up when we're in this phase, we are doing the exact work that we need to do in order to be able to flow with life more consistently, to feel that life force energy really moving through us steadily again, being able to birth our beautiful, unique creations into this world. And so I asked for a message for myself and for the collective, and Spirit came through with 5 things that they really want us to know about this period in our lives right now, about this time. And it might feel like you're in another dark night of the soul. It might feel like you're in another void, and you're like, seriously, I've been through this so many times, and like how much longer can I just trust and free fall into this darkness? But you're being asked to continue steadfast on your path right now. And the first thing that Spirit really wants us to know is that when we hit this low point, when we feel like all is lost, like all of the work that we've done has been for nothing, like nothing has changed in our external world, and we've been doing all of this inner work, when we hit that low point and we have that voice in our head telling us, well, maybe you should just take more action. Maybe you should just do this, and this, and then that will fix it. Know that listening to your mind and listening to that voice is a trap, and it's your ego trying to pull you back into that old way of being. This low point is here right now, and all you have to do to allow this energy to move through you is just be with it. How much can you tolerate what is moving through you right now without trying to fix it, without trying to find the solution, knowing that all this energy needs to move through you is your presence, your acceptance, and your love. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. When we judge what we're feeling, and when we try to take action to avoid these lows in our lives, we stay stuck in survival mode because that judgment is like a lid on this energy that's trying to move through us. When we judge our emotions, we keep them stuck within. And so Spirit, the universe, God, Source, they are asking us to allow it to be, to allow it to move at the pace that it is meant to move, and to stop judging and thinking that you should be somewhere else on your path by now. This is the way to true inner peace, is to truly be able to surrender to what is going on within you and believe that it is in your best and highest good. What you are processing right now, it is not a punishment. And I feel like I want to say that again. It is not a punishment. You are not doing anything wrong. You are being gifted with this process right now because you are strong enough to handle it. You are strong enough to presence these emotions, and you are strong enough to trust and have that faith. Even after so many experiences like this, the reason for this, and this was another thing, I don't know if this is exactly number 2. Okay, yes, it is number 2. So number 2, the reason for this and the reason why your path might feel harder than others around you, than those, in your life that you witness, maybe people you follow on social media, whatever it is, whoever you're comparing yourself to right now. The reason that your journey has taken longer, the reason that it is more challenging is because you signed up in this lifetime to develop into spiritual mastery, emotional mastery, mastery of your mind. You are also being called to develop the deepest level of compassion and unconditional love for yourself, because whatever it is that you are called to create in this world, it needs that energy. That is how we are being called to change the world, is through fusing unconditional love into everything that we do. We are being called to fuse that energy into everything we do because this is what is going to change the world. This is how your work is going to have such a big impact, and it is going to make you so magnetic when you enter into this space. So how do we develop this level of mastery? How do we develop this deep knowing that we are deserving of love and compassion at all times, and so is every other creature and human being? We develop it through these phases where we are struggling, where we are moving old, stagnant, heavy, painful energy through our bodies, and we meet ourselves with that love. So if you think that this period of your life is just a waiting period, is just this insignificant moment in your journey, think again, because it is likely the moment in your journey that you're going to look back on and realize, wow, I was so strong. I was going through so much more than I even let myself realize. That fatigue, that exhaustion that you're experiencing, it's because you are moving and transmuting energy like a master right now. You're doing so well. And this video came across your path as just a little gentle nudge from the universe of like, yes, you are doing it. Don't diminish this work that you are doing right now. It is so significant. And I know it's so easy to judge yourself because often on this path, we are leaders. If you're here, you are a leader, you are a pioneer, and it's so easy to feel alone and to question yourself and to wonder, am I doing everything in this life wrong? But when you are on the other side and when you have fully embodied that unconditional love and full acceptance of yourself, you will realize you weren't meant to fit in or do things like everybody else because you are a leader in this energy of unconditional love. You are here to change the world. So own that and trust yourself at this time. Spirit said, rest like it is making you money right now. Nurture yourself like it is the highest paying job in the world. Tend to your needs, accept yourself, presence yourself, be in meditation with yourself at this time, which, by the way, doesn't have to look like a typical meditation. It can look like laying in the grass and staring at the sky. It can look like cozying up on your couch and just holding a snuggly blanket and drawing, doing something that isn't consuming but allowing you to be present. It doesn't have to be so serious, but truly go into meditation at this time like it is your job, because it is. And I know that you will be so rewarded. We will be so rewarded for trusting that this is the most important job, because we are anchoring in this new energy onto earth. And if we have the privilege and the ability to be able to presence ourselves that deeply and feel safe enough to do so, and if we have that awareness that that is our path, we have to trust it. What other people are doing is not less than, and it is also not more important than what we are doing right now. And so when you see people who are taking so much action, building something, working towards something, know that you're doing that on the inside, and it is very significant. So speaking of meditation, this is something that has come through for me, but specifically meditating with your hands out, your hands open, is going to be supportive at this time because you have so many angels and guides around you. It's like I see them like they're like lining up waiting for you to ask for help. And so a little prayer or ritual that I use before meditation is I open up my hands and I call on my angels and guides, divine beings of the highest truth, light, and compassion who love me unconditionally, to support me in this healing that I'm going through right now, to support me in letting go of negative and stagnant energy in the most loving way possible, to support me in my healing process, to support me in loving myself more deeply, whatever it is that your intention is. Maybe it's bodily healing, maybe it's emotional healing. Maybe you don't know, but you just want to say, I call on your support in the ways that you want to give it to me that is aligned with the highest good of all, the highest good of my soul path and life journey. I am ready and open to receive that support now. Saying anything like that is going to be so highly supportive. Keep your hands open, willing to receive, because you are not alone. And I know that when you're a leader, it's easy to feel alone, but you are not. And so call on that support. They are wanting to support you right now. And I feel giggly when I talk about it because I feel like Yeah, you just have no idea how much support is around you right now. And I know it can feel hard because it's so unseen and sometimes so unfelt. But the moment you choose to just trust that it's there is like the moment that you are able to access that magic. I always think about in movies, like there's so many movies out there where in order for magic to work, you have to believe in it first. And so that is the message that's coming through too, is just believe in it. Believe in that support. Just choose to be optimistic. And that is what's going to allow you to start actually seeing it and start actually feeling it. The last thing that I want to say, I want to preface by saying this is not medical advice. So always make sure to ask your doctor and check in with a medical professional before listening to anything on YouTube. This is just a personal message that came through for me. But I've been having bodily symptoms like really severe bloating and just feeling so uncomfortable in my skin. And it has been really triggering for me because I have struggled with body image issues throughout my life. And it's something that I feel like I've been clearing and clearing and clearing. And, you know, I felt like I was completely free from it. And then it's another layer that comes up. But this purge that's happening right now energetically is showing up in bodily symptoms. And my tendency was to think, oh my God, something's wrong. I have to fix it. Again, it's the same thing with the emotions. We do it with our bodies. But I've been changing the narrative to my body is wise and it knows what it's doing. And maybe it's asking for deeper rest. The same thing that my emotions are asking for, my body is asking for, my presence, my love, my care, and my trust that it knows what it's doing and it just needs the safety to move these energies through us. We've been so taught that when we feel uncomfortable, we have to fix it. But what if we just allowed that discomfort to move through us? What if we just trusted in this process right now? So those are the messages that Spirit brought through. And I just think the most important one to understand is that your role right now in this shift and what we're going through collectively is so vital and so important. And it's really time to stop diminishing who you are and what you came here for because it is so significant. And just because it isn't requiring a lot of action in the 3D doesn't mean that it's not doing something, doesn't mean that it's not supporting the collective in any way or making changes in your life. There are changes being made right now, and the time for action is coming up. But I want you to rest right now like you're about to start up a new job in January, because you are. It could be literal, but it's more of like a spiritual duty that you're going to be activating in even more in this coming year. 2025 is going to be huge for us. And just know that this rest period right now is so significant. It's the winter solstice. It's a time of going inward. Really trust that and do not let your conditioning convince you that you have been doing anything wrong, because you are right where you're supposed to be. And I just want to validate and acknowledge that you've been going through these ups and downs and you've had maybe not much of a reprieve from it for the past few months. I want to acknowledge how hard that is. And I want you to acknowledge that within yourself. See yourself. Trust what is going on inside of you more than you ever have. And I want you to imagine that you are continuing to free fall into the universe and that there is a gift coming. And this gift is developing right now. It is being birthed right now through this work that you are doing on yourself. So none of it is insignificant. None of it is wrong. You're right where you're supposed to be. And I love you so much. I'm right here with you. Thank you so much for being here on my channel. And if it was your first time here, welcome. Thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed my video, I want to say I am not the most consistent on here. Maybe that will change in the upcoming year, but I really try to listen to my guidance as to when I'm meant to post. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to continue to see messages from me, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notification so that you'll know when I sporadically post my messages. I've been doing tarot readings. I really really love to talk about embodied, soul-aligned manifestation, emotional mastery, spiritual guidance, everything under that umbrella I absolutely love talking about. So thank you so much for being here with me. I would love to know what you thought of this video in the comments. And if you ever want to go a little bit deeper with me, I do have pre-recorded hypnotherapy sessions and meditations on my website that are in alignment with everything that I talk about that help to guide you through that process of emotional healing. So in any way that you choose to support my channel, I am so incredibly grateful, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.